So considering what we were talking about earlier on, home screen tinting, and there's obviously more home screen optimization coming to the iPhone, I wanted to get a little like check-in and like a baseline set right now of how our home screens are looking.
Can I just say it, Mike?
Yes.
Summer of fun!
Summer of fun! Although there was more news breaking in this episode than we expected, but nevertheless.
Yes, but here we are just to be clear, the Summer of Fun means we're going to do stuff like this, just kind of, unusual. So it's our home screen. It's a home screen. It's not a competition. It's not a challenge. It's not a roast, probably.
No,
it's something
I mean,
else.
it might be. It depends. Summer of fun stuff, we usually, we need topics, so we bring these things in. And we actually didn't today. There was more news and other stuff we could have spoken about, but we just started the Summer of Fun, so I felt like we had to start with a Summer of Fun-like topic, so here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
So I'm going to take a look at your home screen first.
Right.
Would you like to take
just
me on
thinking
a
about
tour or anything?
Where we are and where we might go with iOS 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So in terms of apps, and I know we've talked about this before, it hasn't changed a lot. At the bottom, I have Overcast, Safari, Fantastical, and Slack in the dock. Although the dock doesn't really matter other than they're more reachable because I only have one page.
Yeah, just one. That's interesting. Yeah. Just one screen.
Yeah. Okay. I'm big search boy. Like if it's not there, sometimes I have to realize, that app is on the home screen. I don't need to search for it.
Do you not think though,
I do
like,
a lot of that.
You could have a whole widget page over there. You could have a bunch of widgets on another page showing you some fun info.
Like even in the Today view, I could have widgets.
You could have them anywhere you like.
I do have a couple of widgets in the Today view. I have thought about it. In particular, like on a vacation or something, or on a trip, I might add them, but I tend to not. Otherwise, if I was motivated, I would do it. I would do that, but I have not been motivated. I probably just put them in the Today view, right? Because then I don't even need to add another page.
Yeah.
Because I just swipe the other way because it doesn't really matter, right? At that point, if you only have one page, swiping left or right doesn't matter. You're just going to a page with widgets. Anyway, so those are my dock apps, and then I have on my phone, I have the MLB app because I'm a baseball fan and checking on the scores and bringing up the live activities.
Not Apple Sports or anything like that. You're not.
No.
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 What does the MLB app give you that sports doesn't?
Well, I can listen. I can put on audio.
Okay, that's pretty big.
And I can put on video, but I mostly don't do that on my iPhone. But I can put on the game, like the radio broadcast. Plus, it's got box scores. It's got lots more detail than the Apple Sports app has.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I have Slack in my dock, but I have Discord on my home screen. Didn't used to, but all our membership communities are in Discord now. I have 3 of them. 4 of them if you count Twit, actually, where I'm only on there though during the live show, but Incomparable and 6 Colors and Relay. So I've got Discord everywhere now. Didn't used to. Carrot is my weather app that's on my home screen. Other weather apps are available, but Carrot is the one that I have. I've got a little orange icon, little aesthetic going there. I chose a custom icon for Carrot. It's an orange one.
Is that like for Giants? Because of the Giants?
It's mostly because I like orange.
Okay.
It's a nice color. It could be for the Giants too.
Let's go Giants.
They're orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I have the Overcast in the light color too because I like the orange.
Well, you can actually you can choose. So you can choose dark or light, and then also choose the icon, which I've done.
Yes,
the orange icon.
I choose orange.
The iconic icon.
It's beautiful.
I gotta ask about the iRobot app. I gotta ask about iRobot.
Just let me go. Camera.
Okay.
Music.
Yeah.
Notes.
Yeah.
Settings.
Yeah.
Photos. Messages.
Correct.
Maps.
Yep.
Phone.
Big stock boy, aren't you?
Mail, and iRobot.
Yeah. We've got a lot of stock apps. Actually, before we get to iRobot, settings?
Okay. Well, yeah, man.
What do you mean, well, yeah, man? How often are you in settings?
I'm changing settings all the time. I mean, I don't have it in my dock. I'm not a monster.
How often are you changing settings, and what are you changing?
Oh, it's if I need to get on, some of this is probably control centerable, and I'm just
Yes.
not doing it there.
It really is. It really, really is.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, didn't you
'cause,
turn
like-
off the Wi-Fi? I gotta go to settings.
Well, no, but it's like I got to find the new Wi-Fi, and I could swipe down and do that, or I don't know.
Is that
I,
a lot?
I find myself,
Is that a lot? You're
I
dealing
find
with
myself
Wi-Fi?
going. I find myself going to settings enough,
Uh-huh.
and my home screen's not full, right? I find myself going to settings enough that I don't want to pull down and type SET and then tap.
Sure,
right? I can
sure,
just
sure.
tap on settings.
Yeah.
Do I use it a lot? Probably not, but enough that it makes me. Also, honestly, there's a lot of, hey, Jason, can you do this thing on the iPhone? I'm like, all right, let me see where that is in settings.
okay.
It's this and this and this. And I tell somebody, you go here.
I
and
have
here,
now
and then here, and then
realized
you do
that there is no home screen topic that doesn't become a roast. Like, I feel like that's just...
It's true. I was
It's-
trying to say it
there's-
might not be
yeah.
a roast as
There's
a
no way
suggestion,
it
but
doesn't become one.
No, it
There's
doesn't.
no way it
It
doesn't
doesn't.
become
You
one.
explain yourself.
yeah.
Settings. I don't know. I find it useful. It would not be there. I've removed a lot of things from my home screen.
Yeah.
And it's still there, which means that I must hit it enough for it to matter.
Sure. Okay.
What other questions do you have
iRobot,
about
I
my
feel like
apps?
I cut you off of iRobot. Are you like often starting the Roomba manually?
It's actually more about stopping the Roomba.
Okay.
But yes, so the fact is, sometimes the Roomba is set to go most days at, I think, 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And sometimes because I work at home, right? Sometimes I'm doing stuff. I'm watching TV. I'm working, whatever. If I'm in the garage, it's okay. It just happened where Juneteenth was Wednesday, so Lauren had it off, and the robot started to go, and I was able to very quickly say, "No, robot, go home." Right. So
Yep.
some of it is just I can't do this right now, and I'll pause it, or I'll send it home. Also, it happens sometimes where I'll notice like cat litter on the hallway carpet, and I'll just be like, "Send the robot to do the hallway," because there's cat litter that came out of the cat box.
Okay.
Or we'll be leaving for curling, and Lauren will say, "Can you run the robot?" And I'll like give it a full house run as we leave, so that while we're gone, the robot is going around and doing its thing. So I have enough robot control. Like, could it be replaced with like a widget or a control center item?
We can only
right
hope.
down.
Well, I mean,
I would hope so, because there's only really basic. I don't do a lot of, let's look at the map or let's change the schedule. It's not a lot of that. It's a lot of start or stop
okay.
that I'm doing that I could probably do
Technically,
something else.
it might be in home because like one of the home improvements was support for robot vacuums, but it does require
Sure,
iRobot doing
Right.
that.
but they could also just add a control center widget
From
in
the
iOS
app,
18
yeah.
to do it.
Start and stop.
But for now, that's why iRobot is there. Do I spend a lot of time on my phone going, "Oh man, I'm gonna go in," and they're trying like everybody else. iRobot is trying to like, "Oh, let's do the whole iRobot experience in our app, and like you can shop for things and learn tips." And all. It's like, I'm not interested in any of that.
They
I
love
really
to
just want
send
to
a
tell the robot
message right
to
now.
stop.
Jason, you know they have some shortcut sections? I just looked. You could make a
Yeah.
shortcut to pause it. You know?
Yeah, I could,
Just letting you know. I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying you should.
but again, it's not going to be as compact as just opening the app and then having all the controls
sure.
there, right?
yeah, this is
So-
also one of these things where I'm like trying to save the feedback, you know?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's controllable by home voice assistants too, right?
Yes.
And I'm not interested. I configured that up for when I had an Echo
Yep.
that I could use Alexa to do that, and I literally never did it. It's just not. I'm just not interested in that. I'd rather just flip open the phone and go boop boop and send the robot where I need it to go. But I'm open. I think iOS 18, whether it's home or control center or some combination thereof, might solve enough of my use cases that right, because the idea there is if I'm launching it a couple of times a week, I mean, I might as well put it on the home screen. But if I only have to launch it to, change a setting or a schedule or something like that, then it doesn't need to be on my home screen. If I can get quick access to telling the robot to stop what it's doing, because robots are dumb. They're real dumb. Maybe AI will make them all better, but right now they're still pretty dumb. Even the smart ones are kind of dumb.
And what is going on with that weather widget?
All right, so at the very top, I have a weather widget. This is in Scriptable. It is a widget I wrote, or at least I adapted from, it was like a German hourly weather widget, but I
Uh-huh.
liked how it looked, so I converted it. It uses WeatherKit. It's got the high temperatures in I have a bunch of different widgets on different platforms that do this, but for the iPhone, this was the most effective way to do it, was to use scriptable. So it's using WeatherKit of the high and the conditions, which look really boring right now, right? Because it's California in the summertime. So there's a cloud today, and then it's just a sun the rest of the time. And then there's some other data from my weather station that's also in here. So it's got the high and low for today so far. The current conditions, partly cloudy. The current temperature, 51 degrees. I took this at 8:38 a.m. 10 degrees cooler today. We had some warm days, but that's actually one of my favorite stats in here. Is it going to be cooler? Is it shaping up to be cooler or warmer than yesterday? And I can see, well, the high is forecast to be 71, and it's already 10 degrees cooler than it was at this time yesterday, which I find really useful. I think that's really helpful. And 2 degrees warmer in the last hour, so you can see if the heat is really spiking. It's like, oh geez, I better get out now because it's really heating up out there. So this is my like personal home weather dashboard widget.
Yeah, you mentioning that Carrot got an update recently, and it like when you open it now, it can show you some things that have changed. And I actually really like that. It's like, hey, it's 2 degrees warmer than yesterday. Celsius.
It's a great stat.
That's just a good thing to know. Like, okay, that's interesting, because it puts it in a bit of context. It makes me think, like, did I feel warm today? Because I'll feel warmer tomorrow or whatever, or yesterday, today. So
there is underneath. This is actually a stack.
Okay.
This is a new feature. So I also have a Mercury weather widget underneath here. Yes, I'm paying for Carrot and Mercury.
You're a weather nerd, and everyone just has to get used to it.
I like Carrot. I think I like Carrot better than Mercury in general, but I think Carrot is lacking a feature that Mercury has, which is trip forecasts. So when I'm traveling, I flip it over to Mercury, because Mercury will do the thing where it'll say it's going to be a high here on Thursday, and then you're traveling, and here is the temperature on Friday, Saturday, Sunday when you're traveling to that city, and then you come back home. So when I went to visit my mom, it was like 72, 75, 72, 105, 101, 100, 69, 71. And it's like, oh, Phoenix weather in there. And I like that. I think that's pretty cool to be able to see how it's shaping up. So if I'm about to go on a trip or I'm on a trip, to be able to see that. I don't necessarily need the details of my home while I'm traveling, so I flip over to the Mercury widget.
Very cool.
Which is cool.
All right. This is pretty standard. Should we switch over to me? There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, it's a lot of stock apps. It's just
you're a very stock apps boy, and you love your settings. That's what we know about you.
And I love my settings in the phone. I'm surprised you didn't say anything about phone. Sometimes I gotta call people.
Yeah,
I don't love it.
At the point that we have like maps and settings and camera and photos, it's like you're in it. You're in the.
I don't even have
original
reminders
iPhone
on
life.
there, which I probably could. I use reminders a lot too. I should probably put reminders.
I mean, you have 3 extra spaces, so you might as well go for it.
I do. So for iOS, I'll just say for iOS 18, we talked about some of the things that we might be able to put in Control Center that would reduce my need to have them elsewhere. That is possible. And then I think the other thing I anticipate is that I will probably do what I think a lot of people will do, which is bring down more apps lower on the screen.
Yeah, it would make sense for you to shift it all down one.
Exactly, because I want the ones that I'm using most often above the dock apps to be the next 4 most oftenly used, right? That's the way that should be. Anyway, let's look at you.
So I'm going to start from the top down, and we'll go from there. So the very top, I have a stack of Carrot Weather and Fantastical widgets, and they rotate throughout the day. So, I can know my weather, or I can know what my next tasks are. So I like having those there. They're pretty helpful for me to have that. Then we move on to, I have another stack of widgets, which is Due and Reminders. So the reminders are shared. Like, so this is like where we put our house tasks and stuff like that. It goes in reminders. And then Due is where I have little things for myself to deal with. And then I have a 4 block of apps: Notes, Discord, Google Maps, and City Mapper. Then I have
Okay.
Camera, Instagram, Messages, and Slack. And
All
then
right.
I have another stack of a small widget, a Timery widget, and underneath it is a Shortcuts widget with 2 time tracking widgets that I use. And my dock is Todoist, Notion, Safari, and Overcast. So
Wow.
that's screen 1. Screen 2.
There's a lot of organization happening there.
Mm-hmm. Screen 2, I have a stack of Notion widgets so I can get to different things quickly. Then I have a couple of Widgetsmith widgets with different albums. Then I have a stack of widgets for the app Peak, which is just fitness stuff. So it shows your rings and your steps, and you can choose what you want in there. Then I have another stack of Photos widgets. One is the official Photos app one, and then one is the Widgetsmith on this day, and they rotate. Then I have a stack of 2 home widgets, one for my home and one for my studio.
Right.
Then I have
so many widgets.
Yeah, I love widgets. Then I have another page, which is mostly all widgets. I have one for my home security system, Abode.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have another Widgetsmith widget, which shows me the pollen count.
All right.
Which gets cycled in and out throughout the year. Then I have another stack, like a longer stack. So this has got a bunch of things in it. Well, what you're looking at right now is a Widgetsmith countdown widget, but this is one of the newer ones that David added last year with the interactive, where the actual countdown to the event, I have to tap on the image and it slides up and shows me the actual date, which is nice, so that I don't need to look at how many days it is until the London live show, which is currently 1 month, 6 days as we're recording this. Then I have in this stack a Formula One app called Box, which shows me the calendar of the Formula One races. And then another Widgetsmith widget, which is time zones, for the time zones that I need to be aware of. And then a widget from the app Game Track, which is a game tracking app, which shows me the games that I'm currently playing in progress. Then I have Duolingo, 165-day streak, no biggie. And then I have New York Times Games, which is a new one for me. Everyone plays it, and I want to play it, and I'm enjoying it. I have Delta, the emulator, and then I have MetaView, which is the app for my sunglasses, and then ChatGPT, because, that's where we are.
Okay.
That's my home screens.
Well, I am shamed by your amazing widget collection.
I love widgets, man. I really love widgets.
It's really good. I've been going, and we learned this when Steven judged me that one time.
Yeah.
We learned that I am a minimalist in a lot of ways. So my tendency is to say, I'm not going to do a second page. And you said, why not do a second page with widgets? I'm like, yeah, am I really going to use it? Right. It's just a tendency, and I'm not entirely sure that it's right. Am I knowing myself, or am I just precluding myself from trying it? But this is it's sort of aspirational and inspirational for me in some ways, where I think, being clever about having the stacks and having things that you don't need to see every time. And like, I don't use my phone as much as you do, because I'm mostly at home, and I use my phone some at home, but not as much as my iPad and my Mac. But seeing the way you use stacks, I really like that.
Oh, I have a whole other home screens we're not going to get into today, where like travel ones and stuff, where when I'm traveling, and then I have like the flighty one and the tripsy one, and I have calendar, and then find my,
Oh yeah.
I think that widgets are very good. Like I just like that they can surface so much information, which is good information for me to have that otherwise I wouldn't have, or I would have to go and get. Like, for example, the Peak one, which shows me my activity rings and my steps all in one widget. Or the Duolingo widget. The Duolingo widget is great if you use Duolingo, because the image changes. So if you haven't done your Duolingo today, it's a good reminder. And I think Duolingo is quite clever that they have the owl, which is their their mascot, doing increasingly weird things. Like sometimes I've seen its face melting. Sometimes it's like the head has opened up and another owl. Like they're trying to grab your attention with like really weird imagery to indicate to you that you need to do your Duolingo. And then when you've done it, you get the little celebratory owl that you've done your Duolingo for today, you know? So like I like the way that they do that. And that's just like a good piece of information for me. The countdown and also the photo widgets. I think I'm surprised that you don't use those at least, because I know that you care a lot about your photo library. And the photo widgets that I use, both the official photos one and then also the Widgetsmith ones, where I get the on this day, is like that is surfacing for me images that I otherwise would not see today. And I think that that is a real pleasure.
So I have photo widgets on my iPad.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But not on my, because for me, so my iPad is evening watching less engaging TV and going to bed, and morning when I wake up and I'm reading and all that. And so I've got all, good morning, open your iPad, Jason. That would be a great thing for Tim to say as an alarm. Good morning. So for me, that is like a place where the iPad interface is very comfy, and that's a good place to put things like photos. The iPhone, I don't know. I think maybe my iPhone, I just treat it a little more as a utilitarian thing but this is offering me inspiration. I have some questions.
Okay, I will just say on that, you saying about utilitarian. For me, that means you should be even more widget focused, I think.
All right.
Like, so your phone, every time you open your phone, I think it should be showing you the thing that you're wanting before you even needed to do anything with it, you know?
Oh, interesting. But I'm never going to open my phone to see a picture.
Yeah, that's fine though. But like, you do use them, but use them on your iPad, which I think is obviously the better place for you.
Right.
But there are, like, for example, like a calendar widget or a reminders widget. Like, they are quite utilitarian things. They're surfacing information for you.
Right. And I do have a calendar widget on my iPad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a good point. It's a good point. So I have an organizational question for you, which is, you've got these. So you've staggered your small widgets on your first page.
Yeah.
Which creates holes for 4 apps in squares next to them. And I don't understand. So I understand why Citymapper and Google Maps are next to each other.
Yep.
And I understand why Camera and Instagram are next to each other.
Yep.
I don't understand why Discord and Slack are not next to each other.
Because Messages and Slack are next to each other.
Because you view Slack and Messages as more similar.
It's more that Discord came later. Right.
Okay, there's no spot for it because
there was no spot for it. So I removed, I think, 1Password was next to Notes. It's like, well, I want Discord on my home screen. This is the only spot that I can give it. And to me, Messages and Slack feel closer to each other than Discord and Slack, or Discord and Messages. I do, I'm also thinking, like, I'm looking at my home screen now and I'm like trying to think like what can go, because I think I'm going to have to think about some stuff to go because I want to try some stuff out. And I think I could probably, Discord and Notes I could remove from the home screen. Like, I use them all the time, but I don't think I really need like the instant access to them. They're more purpose driven.
Right.
So I'm more likely to search for those. But that's only 2, so it's going to be complicated. This is why I wanted to do this today, of like take stock right now, because as I'm looking at my home screen, especially like my selection, I feel like it's like perfect for me. But like, so I don't really know how I'm going to take advantage of you can put your icons wherever you want. It's like, well, they already kind of are where I want them. So,
well, I'll say one thing you could do. You've got these blocks of 4. One thing you're going to be able to do is, if you decide you want to kick something out, you don't have to replace it with something, at least not right away.
Yeah.
So you could throw, for example, what if you wanted to group Camera, Instagram, and MetaView together? Everything you've got is groups of 4. You could do a group of 3 in iOS 18, right? And then have that other one just sit empty. And that might be okay. I know there's some people are very much like, oh no, you got to fill all the slots, but you could not.
No.
and it would be okay. Whereas right now you can't not fill the slots, right?
Yeah.
That's how it has to
Yeah.
be. So you could kick Notes off or kick Discord off and keep the other 3 there, and it would still be possible.
Yeah.
So
And
that
I
gives
also
you some,
wonder how like Control Center might unlock the ability to remove some of the apps, and then maybe that will, like I don't know what that will be yet, but
right,
there is a possibility
Yes.
that some apps or even some widgets that I have,
or even some widgets.
I won't need
Mhm.
them to be where they are. Like so that might unlock a bit more customization possibility for me.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Another difference between how I do it and how you do it is that you don't have music on here.
I mean, honestly, I actually seldom listen to music. Like I listen to podcasts and I
right.
watch videos on YouTube. Like that is the majority of the things that I'm listening to.
Okay.
If I listen to music, I'm listening on devices that aren't my phone. And so like
All right.
I have a weekend focus mode, for example, which puts the Sonos app on my home screen.
Okay. When I tried and I decided I didn't like it, the putting in a travel focus while I'm traveling.
Yeah.
I will do it while I'm like literally traveling, but when I get to my destination, I don't like having that there.
I have a vacation home screen for that reason. So
Right.
travel is one, and then vacation is another,
then
because the
vacation.
apps change, but they are different to what I want
Right.
when I'm at home. So
Sure. So I mostly have, I listen to music in the car sometimes, mostly podcasts, but not always. And on dog walks, I am just taking my Apple Watch and I'm listening to podcasts. But on flights, I do a lot of listening to music. So, and my iPhone is, again, because I'm not an iPhone primary person, one of the big things about my iPhone is I'm using it when I'm in transit. When I'm in the car, when I'm on a plane, I actually use the iPhone and rely on it a lot. So I some of my stuff is kind of skewed toward I'm, waiting at the gate, I'm going down the jetway and we're stopped and I'm looking at Discord or whatever, like that stuff. Or like when I went to Portland and I rescheduled who was going to be on upgrade while sitting at the gate and going down the jetway, and that was all in messages and Slack, and that was all happening on my phone. So it's scenarios like that when I'm out and about that it gets used the most. But iRobot is still there because sometimes you just got to tell the robot to stop.
I'm intrigued to see where we'll be in like a year from now. Like, are we going to embrace these new customization options? Are we
Right?
going to theme our icons?
I
have to wait and
It's
see.
interesting. I think the places that Apple is missing the boat, in addition to the light icons that David Smith mentioned, are I kind of can't believe you can't theme per page
Or per icon.
and per icon,
Yeah.
but certainly per page. And
Yeah.
the fact that you can't, if an app, they should really have an interface. If an app has a bunch of custom icons offered to users, there should be a way for it to just happen in the home screen, where you should tap and say, pick a custom icon. You shouldn't have to go into the app, into settings, and do it, right? And you can't do that either. It's weird. It's weird.